good morning to one and all. My name is Shivakumar Paturi. Today, as per the conference presentation, I would like to express my technique what I have used in my paper, and my title of the paper is A Novel Classification Technique for Safety Measures on COVID-19 Using Feature-Based Sentimental Analysis. And my co-authors are Vijay Bharati and Dorababu, Purushottam and Shriman, myself and Chutturi Prasad. So these are my co-authors. Now coming to the technique. So these are the indexes what we are going to discuss in detail about the paper. First we are going to start with the abstract, followed by introduction, literature survey, and research gaps, proposed methodology, result and discussions, and comparative analysis, and finally conclusion and future work. As we all know that most of the people throughout the world has affected with a pandemic situation during COVID-19. So this COVID-19 has frightened the world due to its impact on each and every human being. And most of the human beings got frightened by taking some precautions how they can come out from this worst situation, as we all know that, and we have witnessed through our own eye. So in this paper, the primary objective is to build a model that predicts the review on COVID-19, and as a result of it, so many number of machine learning techniques has been applied for finding a best way for giving the solution for the people to take some precautions. But in this paper, I have used a novel classification technique, and I've compared with a basic classifiers like SVM and Navibase, where my classifier has been given an accuracy of 95% in predicting the COVID-19 precautionary system for the people. So generally, a coronavirus is a special kind of a problem, which has we all know that where it has been started from. So, and in the month of March 2020, it has come. It has existed in a numerous way, where the world has got frightened. What it's spreading throughout the world, and they couldn't stop. They couldn't stop how to stop this such type of pandemic situation. Many of the governments has started a lockdown, where in order to reduce the COVID-19 situation. But some countries has been come out of with the best solution for like a vaccine. They have invented a vaccine, and everyone has taken some vaccine, and this vaccine also has affected the people post corona, as we all know that most of the died due to cardiovascular disease and many more disease, and because of the lockdown, it has been somewhat reduced. uh, the pandemic situation is somewhat has been reduced. So for this purpose, the opinion mining is one of the best one of the best term in the machine learning technique, which is used to classify our emotions. So this is what the literature survey we have taken from various papers, and the authors, what are the techniques, what they have used, and what the accuracy of the models has been existing. So the main problem in our the research gap, what I have observed during the literature survey, it is just what an insufficient information, where some people has given an opinion just like a half sentence, a half polarity, where we can't predict whether it is a positive polarity or a negative polarity or a neutral polarity. That's what an insufficient information. Most of the research papers, the information or uh, the reviews or the opinions has been an incomplete or imprecise information. And the second one is a biased information, where it's just like a 50-50, where we couldn't able to predict exact accuracy of the model, and finally inconsistency. These are the three major gaps what we have observed during this research process. So this is what my proposed methodology is, where I have taken the tweets from the Kaggle repository, and I have pre-processed it, and I have applied a feature extraction. The main feature is I have divided into four labels, class labels, like if the sentence contains fear, angry, or somewhat related to afraid. These are all comes under class one, and once the COVID has been reduced, some of them have given reviews like now the pandemic situation has been reduced. We are very happy with it, like that. Happy is nothing but they are in a very emotional happy state, so I have taken into class 2, label 2. So in this way I have taken the feature extraction. With the help of a feature extraction, I have trained my data, and finally, with the help of my classifier, I've calculated the polarity. From the polarity, I have classified the accuracy of the model using confusion matrix, where my proposed model has been given best accuracy when compared with the existing classifiers. So these are my results and discussions. As I told you, I have generated a confusion matrix on the left hand side of the PPT, where the precision value obtained from the confusion matrix is roughly 95%, and each and every precision, recall, and accuracy, whatever we have calculated when compared with the existing classifier, it has been given a 95% of the accuracy, where we have divided into four class labels, like positive, negative, and neutral, and the same way afraid comes under one class label, and happy state comes under one class label, etc. As I told you, the research gap mainly in improper, inconsistent data, and the second one is a biased data, where some of the doctors itself, they told that yeah, everything got reduced, nothing problem, once you have taken a vaccine, everything will be saturated. But that's somewhat a 50-50 biased, because most of the doctors, I'm not just talking about the doctors or nurse, but the scenario what we observed during pandemic is, after post COVID, most of them died because of taking vaccine, right? So for that reasons, I'm telling, we couldn't able to the imprecise information or insufficient data is somewhat the reason for predicting the accuracy of the old models is somewhat less, where in my proposed model, the inconsistent, biased, and every information has been converted with the help of a polarity by calculating the polarity of each and every text. From that, I have generated the divided into class labels. From the class labels, I have generated into confusion matrix. From that confusion matrix, I have calculated my results. And finally, once I have compared the results with the existing classifiers like Navibase and SVM, we all know that the proposed classifier has given the best result, like 95%, whereas Navibase has been given only 89%, and SVM has given only 85%. So and finally, I can conclude that this study is entirely based on the perceptions which I've acquired from different peoples throughout the globe and during this pandemic. And some of them have been done a social service or a societal information. Some media has been given a wrong information, and some has been given as a right information. But we have took a reviews from a peculiar and a prominent website called Kaggle repository, and we have trained the data, and finally we have tested the data with the help of a basic classifiers like uh, Navibase and SVM, where the proposed classifier named as Sentimental Analysis Database Minor is the proposed algorithm, where it has been outperformed perfectly when compared with the existing one. Though, since the accuracy is somewhat 95%, in order to increase the acceleration ratio of the proposed model, acceleration ratio is nothing but the total time taken by the CPU divided by the GPU is nothing but an acceleration ratio. As we know that the processing time of each and every algorithm has take some processing time. But in order to increase my acceleration ratio with best improving the accuracy of the model, so I'm proposing that my existing algorithm, my proposed algorithm, can be used uh, for with the help of executing which has been executed on GPU, can give more accuracy when compared with a normal executing on a CPU. So that's what my proposed in my future work is. Fair? if the existing algorithm, which when executed on GPU, produces more acceleration ratio, I mean less processing time when compared with the existing classifier, which compared with the existing classifier. So this is what my conclusion, and these are my references where I have taken number of where I have taken number of ample of times and executed the based on these references. I have predicted